Hi students, so we are finally done with Rhino. My model is only as done as my last tutorial, but yours are super done. And so what we're going to do is go over, now we're going to leave Rhino. I know you're all so excited about that. And go into Lumion. So what we're going to do is take our final model and select it all and type and go export selected. I think we are exporting these as DAEs. These Collada, a DAE. So this is the type you want to export it as. And then put in a name. I call them to Lumion and save. Now, Lumion is on all the computers, but there's only 30 licenses. I am currently trying to get you guys personal licenses for those of you that have computers, but just know sometimes maybe all the licenses aren't going to work. So again, we're right back to where we used to be. We got this night sky, white islands craziness. I'm pretty sure, sadly, good old plain is perfect for Iowa. So we're going to hit plain. So that's all emptiness. So the first thing we want to do is import what we had just done. And all we're doing today is importing, placing stuff, playing with materials, and then saving it, because the problem is that it's a very tricky save when you have an educational license. So you hit save, or import is this little floppy disk save thing. When you're over this object, this is the last thing I imported. When you hover over the folder, it allows you to click in it and get another file. So click in it. $232 to Lumion and open whatever you say. Oh, different name. Okay, it's fine. If it says pick a different name, just change your name. It doesn't matter. It's about Lumion is building a library of my blocks, and it's telling me that I've already named something to Lumion before, so that's fine. And this giant arrow will pop up, and it's asking me to click somewhere. Everything always goes on the ground, so I click, and there we go. That's my jam. So the first things you want to do, I don't actually know what you want to do, but what's really important to understand is you can get away from this place mode. You can try placing other things, but I just usually go to these sort of like adjustment places and maybe then switch over. So the key is materials and stuff. So I don't really care what you do, but by next class, I want you all to have your perfectly finished Rhino models in Lumion with stuff. So the very frustrating thing is that the keys are different here than they are in Rhino. So you need to practice zooming around. And essentially, the right mouse, it is just the camera's head swiveling. It's not actually doing anything for you. And you can zoom in with your scroll, but scrolling and pivoting doesn't help you too much. What's really crucial is that you hold the O, shortcut, orbit camera, and that allows you to orbit. And still, it's very different than Rhino. So it takes getting used to, but if you're really frustrated, it's probably because you're not orbiting around something. And then the next thing is that it is all about a camera angle. That's everything to Lumion. It is about exporting that. So if you feel like you still can't get where you need to go, you can. These are all the move commands, and these are the shortcuts. You can move things on the Z axis, and then you can also move things only on the X axis, or move the models. And always place on terrain, that's a default. And the next thing is that you can use your arrow keys. So out or down and up is zoom in and zoom out. It's very slight, and those come in handy for the renderings later. But also what comes in handy is just moving left to right, because sometimes you just can't get to the center. So those are the 4 new adjustments you'll have to make using the arrow key and holding orbit in order to get around your model. So next, let's apply materials. I already showed this briefly, but this is my object. It's all one big object, but there's different materials. So if I go into materials, my ground, I knew this was going to happen. I need to go back and redo it. I can't get this to be separate, but I know how to fix it. So if I click on this material, for whatever reason these are here. I think these are associated with SketchUp. I'm going to pretty much ignore these. I don't really know what they're all about. But if you click on the brick, you'll see it changes. And we don't want a brick, so we can actually click back and pick something else. Like there is, I don't know, like a white whatever. And that looks quite nice. Again, grab this outdoor. That's actual brick. Grab this outdoor. These are black bricks. So, okay. So once you have finished up all the materials, materials, grab this white one. It's probably one of the last ones on the side. We've got the white stone. If we look over to our windows, we've got this glass that is now just blue. This is the stuff that imported. You see I have some brick going through, but that's okay. Outdoor, maybe indoor. Nature, nope, definitely not. Glass. So that's all beautiful glass. There's actually a whole spectrum of what you can do with that. These doors were different kinds of glass, so we actually have to go in there and also specify that as glass, apparently. Glass. So it's beautiful, glowing, wonderful. I'm just going to leave that carpet blue because, well, no, not hideous. Let's make it a bit boring carpet. So there you go. Beautiful. Don't mind this flickering thing. It's okay. It'll get better. So this is about as far as you need to come with your materials. And the next thing you need to practice is placing objects, which is also the fun part. So if you go over to the side, all right, we're done. Good. Click, save. You can place objects like trees. So you click the tree, and if you want to change the object, you click on it and you find even prettier trees, and then you can click and place them. Flowering dogwoods. If you want a car, you go to the car, you click on it, because we definitely don't want a boat. And we go see what they have. They all have red. Lots of red vehicles. But you go grab one. Yeah. And you like put it there. And if you want people, like I said, you can put those in there too. And since you built it to scale, it should be to scale. So the last thing I'm going to try and fix with this is I'm going to try and move this object. And I'm actually going to try and like move it up a little bit. And that should eliminate this sort of twinkling thing that's happening with all the grass underneath it intersecting and not liking where the bottom of this is. So hopefully that's the tires aren't underground. I have another way to fix that, but we'll talk about that later. So this is basically as far as you need to go. You need to practice cruising around, adding objects, and adjusting materials. So the most fundamentally important thing for you to take away is that these are educational versions, and in order to, they are like meant to be saved on your personal computer. And as you all know, these computers in the labs erase information quite frequently, either weekly or nightly. There is no guarantee that your stuff will stay on there. So you have to do a workaround of how you save it. So to save, you go to File, Save. You click on this little saving icon in the corner. And what we would usually want to do is export the full screen and then import the full scene. But since we can't do that, we're going to have to be tricky, or at least this is supposed to work. We're going to name this Super Test and check. It's saved. I can close out of this now. Now I'm going to go to my sort of computers document where like my subfolder in Lumion is. So I believe that is under Documents, Lumion 5, and Scenes. Super Test is what I just started. If I want to be able to open Super Test, I need to take these two files out of this scene folder And then when I want to reopen it, I have to copy these two files back into that specific scene folder. Okay? So it's the only way that you would be able to save your projects. Okay? So that's the end. By the end of today, I hope all of you can open Lumion, and everyone by next class period must have their model finished and in Lumion.